too much turkey. Help me, please. I need some fizz. I need some bubbly. I need some soda. Please. My stomach said, oh. Whew. Alright, let's go into the picks for the main slate. What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. These are my NFL DFS picks for week 12. I did eat a lot of turkey, ate a lot of leftovers, and almost couldn't do this video, but I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. We're still going to do picks for the main slate. Let's jump right into it. At the end of the video, I will reveal last week's winner, and we're having another giveaway this week. Gonna change it up a little bit. We did this before, but this week I'm going to be giving out 5 t-shirts instead of 1 NFL jersey. So any t-shirt you want on the Fantasy Couch store, whether it be the Waivers and Chill, commish, even a mug, anything under $20 on this store, $20 or under, you know, it's all good. Whatever you want, Ask the Brain, Couch t-shirt. So 5 random winners will get it. And to be honest, only about 5 people usually enter every week, so you'd be almost guaranteed to win. All you got to do to enter is follow the link below in the description, or just head on over to cryptofantasysports.com. Play in any NFL contest, whether paid or free. Of course, they are having another great tournament play. It's almost never full, so your chances of winning are much greater than on other sites. I'll be playing there. Hope to see you there. All you got to do once you do that is just comment below your CFS username. I will pick 5 random winners to win a t-shirt. Now, on to the picks. Luckily, a lot of picks stood out to me. It was fairly easy to pick from. Maybe it's because there's 2 teams on bye and 6 teams already played. That might be the case. I don't know, but there was a lot of obvious ones. I think wide receivers probably the toughest. As far like in every position, I have like one player that's super easy to pick, and it's the same with quarterback. I'm going with Jameis Winston. Remember a few weeks ago when Jameis was starting, who did he play? I think it was the Falcons. And I had this guy, his picture on my waiver thumbnail. I had his picture on my DFS thumbnail. I was like, there's only one quarterback to pick, Jameis Winston. And I was kind of like, once it was like Sunday morning and Saturday night, it kind of hit me. I was like, dang, dude, if Jameis Winston sucks this week, I'm going to look really, really bad. Especially, like, I know he's risky with the off the field and on the field, the stupid mistakes he makes. And thankfully he came through. He was like the clear-cut best quarterback, and he just knocked it out the park. What did he have? 4 touchdowns? Wow, 4 touchdowns, 400 yards. That's insane. So this week, it's basically the same thing. And I think the matchup is great. It should be a fairly high-scoring game. Nick Mullins should do well. Breida should do well. The Niners should do well. Kittle. And, of course, Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. And the Bucs should do well. And another thing on top of this is the Bucs throw the ball a lot. They're not a good running team. They constantly throw to, and they do have the weapons. They have 4 good wide receivers. They had 2 good tight ends, now only 1 good tight end. So Jameis Winston, clear-cut, #1 quarterback. I'll go through some other options really quick. I just want to give you guys other options, but Jameis Winston, he's my guy, whether GPP, whether a tournament, whether cash, doesn't matter, any format. Tom Brady, awesome. He's questionable, which makes him a little bit better for GPP because people will stay off of him. He's been playing horribly the last 3 weeks, but coming off a bye, he has a little illness, little knee injury. I'd say the chances of him playing are about 99.99%, something like that. Like, I fully expect him to play, and he's playing the Jets. Their run defense is mediocre, and their pass defense is not that good. Jets, yeah, Brady should be able to do very well. And then we have Andrew Luck, who's just been lights out this year. He's been amazing, very consistent, puts up high numbers every game. So I absolutely like him. Cam Newton, another great quarterback facing the Seahawks. He's pretty reliant, though, on the rushing stats, but he's been getting quite a bit of rushing stats this year. Who else we got? Carson Wentz coming off Probably the worst game of his career. 0.8 fantasy points. What the heck was that? That was the most disgraceful performance ever. And against the Saints, who have been playing well, but still, man, your guys just won the Super Bowl. Like, the Saints aren't the best defense in the world. And you couldn't get more. Well, you couldn't even get one fantasy point. Because he had such a bad game, I see the ownership being lower than it usually would. And that's why I do like it. And if you look, there's other options that people would go after. Like some of the guys I named. And Jameis Winston, of course, only 100 more. Other options really quick. Eli Manning, 5,700. I'll probably avoid Lamar Jackson. Russell Wilson, 5,600. Baker Mayfield, 5,500. Nick Mullins, I like him a lot, actually. I think this is a great value quarterback. And saving 600 to me is not a big deal. Like, I just don't see it as that big of a deal. I feel like the quarterbacks have been priced fairly closely this year, especially as of late. And hey, I mean, if you really need to save 600, I guess you could go with Nick Mullins. I'd rather go with Jameis, though. And my cheapest quarterback that I would even consider is Ryan Tannehill. So he would be a punt this week at the quarterback position, priced at 5,000, which is pretty much minimum price. I wrote down Keenum as another punt, but because he has zero upside, he just hasn't been doing anything this year other than like barely squeezing out wins for his team every now and then. I wouldn't have him on my roster, but I did want to just mention him as he's priced 4,700. Really no other options there except Derek Carr, and you don't want to start that guy against the Ravens. Don't do that. For running backs, I like Melvin Gordon a lot. I think he's my #1 running back this week. He is questionable, and that's why I do like him in GPPs. That questionable tag will scare off a few hundred people, maybe a few thousand people. Like, oh, he's questionable. Oh, there's other, I'd rather just go McCaffrey or something. James Conner, similar situation. I think he's going to be a top 5 running back easily this week. The volume's there. His team is really good. And because he's been underperforming significantly the last 2 games, people are very down on him. In season-long leagues, James Conner owners are very spoiled. I hear them complaining and whining. Oh, did he just give up now that Bell is dead? Shut up. All right. You got James Conner. You got him for cheap. I know I started him when DFS week 1. I drafted him in a 20-team league when I drafted Bell, and I'm doing amazing in that league. Most time when you draft Bell, you're done, right? And I am not one of those spoiled complainers with James Conner. He's had bad games in the past. Look, Ravens, under 10 digits. Tampa Bay, only 15 points. Like, that's not that great. And I think this will be a good bounce back game. It doesn't scream to a lot of fantasy owners, pick me, pick me. The price is okay. The matchup, not that great. It's okay. And he's been performing not as well. But I think he's healthy. All signs point to him being healthy. I don't see why he wouldn't. And the ownership's going to be low. Price isn't too bad, though. I mean, he is a top 5 price guy, and I have him as ranked top 5. Who else do I like? I really like Fournette, as in he's going to get a lot of touches. He'll get a lot of rushing attempts, even a few targets. So I think his floor is pretty high. And I absolutely love Nick Chubb. I don't even know how you wouldn't pick him this week. I've been picking him all the time and just been crushing it with him. Matter of fact, when the Jets played the Bills and almost destroyed all my DFS lineups, I had Chubb in all of them, and him alone, I think I had Aaron Jones too, but him alone saved me. A lot of people didn't pick him. Just, I don't know, maybe it's because he's a Brown, and he just saved my lineup, dude. Like, Jets D, -3 points. Brady, I don't know why I was so on Brady. Brady didn't do well against the Titans, and Chubb saved me in all my cash games. So thank you, Nick Chubb. And yeah, I'm still on board the Chubb train. I never jumped off. Why would I? My favorite, oh, I got Sony Michel here. Yeah, Sony Michel, really good in GPP and tournament plays. He's questionable on some websites. He's expected to play. He'll play. He should be healthy. Limited practice, I believe, this week. And he hasn't been getting targets. He averages about 1 target per game. And I know that he can catch the ball well. Of course, James White is solidified in that pass catching back role. But what if? That's how you gotta take these GPPs. Kind of like boxing. Like, it's like swinging a haymaker where the guy's not there, expecting that small chance that his head's gonna be there eventually by the time you throw your punch, right? And you land that haymaker for the KO. That's how GPPs are. So if we're swinging the haymaker, we're swinging the Sony Michel haymaker, anticipating that he might get more than 1 target per game, and this might be the game where we see him as a pass catching back. Look, it's unlikely, like I'm telling you, but only 1 target a game is, quite frankly, very surprising. Maybe this is the game where he gets 4, 5, 6, 7 targets in the pass game. Like I said, very unlikely, but that's what we're hoping for if we do pick Sony Michel. Not bad in a cash game, but more suited for GPP. With that being said, like his lack of involvement in the passing game and also that questionable tag makes him more suitable for GPPs. Matt Breida, my #1 running back for DFS this week in GPP, in cash games, in anything. I love Matt Breida. I drafted Jerick McKinnon in the Instagram Experts League, a keeper league, and I'm like almost 100% sure I don't want to keep him next year. I'm going to keep Kerryon Johnson. If not him, then Philip Lindsay. I'm just not going to keep Jerick McKinnon. And the main reason I'm not is because Matt Breida has played so well. How do you, like Jerick McKinnon may start, but how do you keep Breida out the lineup? He's gonna get at least half the workload, right? I mean, he catches the ball okay. He's really fast. He's really good. He's just one of those runners that always gets the job done, always. So I think it's gonna be a split between McKinnon and Breida next year. But hey, that's not happening this year. Mostert is out. Alfred Morris is horrible. Matt Breida is the guy. And the Niners are coming off a bye week. And this guy's been injured all year and still performing. Against the Giants, 31 fantasy points. Wow, that's a lot. Banged up. So coming off a bye week, going against the Bucs, who have a little bit better run defense, but not good by any means, and much worse pass defense, he should be good. I'd solidify him as an RB1 this week. The price is way too cheap for Matt Breida at $5,700. Some other options. We know the Dolphins are going to have to keep up with Andrew Luck. That's why I have, where's he priced at? $4,700. Drake going against the Colts. Who else we got? Chris Carson. I don't trust this running back by committee. Last week, Chris Carson fumbled the ball early and Pete Carroll went right back to him. So that does boost the confidence level in Chris Carson. It's still not the trust you want. And in DFS, these little percentages, like if I trust this guy just a little bit more than the other guy, that's who I'm going to pick in a cash game. I need players I can trust because I'm putting real money up. And Chris Carson, look, if his price wasn't this low, I wouldn't even mention him. But he is worth a consideration with this cheap price. And this one, I probably like even more than Breida if Alex Collins is out. Look, I already like Gus Edwards going against the Raiders, even if Collins is active. At 4,400, this is disgustingly low. The upside is there. The matchup is there. The workload, worst case scenario, how do you not give this guy 7 to 10 carries? How does he not get double-digit touches? I don't know how that's a realistic scenario going against the Raiders. That's with Collins playing. Now, Collins is questionable. He has been replaced by Gus Edwards, it seems like. I don't care what the coach says. He's going with the hot hand. I think Gus Edwards is the man. And I'll put it like this. He's okay in both formats, more GPP. Now, if Alex Collins is out, this guy's chalk. Chalk meaning he's going to be owned in 79% of lineups at least. Like, the guy's going to be owned in a lot of lineups. And in a cash game, you have to go Gus Edwards if Alex Collins is out. Yeah, I like him a lot. What am I going to say? What else could I say besides I like him a lot? Price $4,400. Who else we got? Peyton Barber, super cheap, 3,900. Will Ronald Jones steal some carries with him? I know that, I mean, it's over for the Bucks anyway. They got to see what they have with Ronald Jones. Give that man double-digit carries, see what happens. Josh Adams seems to be the #1 back on the Eagles. He's the only guy who did anything on the Eagles last week. Scored 1 rushing touchdown. Did quite well. 53 rushing yards, 19 receiving yards. And he'll be getting the rock again this game against the Giants. Price super cheap at only 3,800. Actually, this price is very low. I like this. There's some really good cheap running backs for sure. Who else we got? Oh, that's it. Though that's the cheapest guy I would consider going with. Josh Adams. I like him a lot. Oh, no, I have some other ones. Sorry. Rashad Penny, he's okay in a GPP. He seemed to have solidified that RB2 role, the backup running back role for the Seahawks. And Mike Davis, I think he got 1 touch last game. I don't know, like 1 carry, something like that. 0 or 1 carry. He wasn't even involved the last game the Seahawks played, which was against the Packers. It was a lot of Carson and a decent amount of Rashad Penny. Price at 3,700. Of course, that's just a GPP. And then Frank Gore as a punt, 3,600. Super cheap, has a decent matchup, but the Dolphins will have to throw the ball, unfortunately, and they're going to be playing from behind in the 4th quarter, maybe even the 3rd quarter. But if you want to go with Frank Gore and hope for a touchdown, that definitely could happen. He's been putting up not so great numbers, but for that price, this is actually pretty good. Double-digit carries, that's a lock. Will he get a touchdown? That's 50-50, but if he does get in the end zone, he's going to pay dividends. 3,600. That is pretty cheap. And the player I'd go, like, I just want to give you guys a punt, is Alfred Morris. He's been a huge disappointment for me this year. And I mean, he's really nothing more. Like, what can I say? He's like worse than Jordan Howard, who's been a huge disappointment. Like, he'll get some carries, and he's totally touchdown dependent. So we'll see what he does. And the guy's been replaced by anybody, but McKinnon gets injured, Mostert gets injured. So now there's like the only running back available for the Niners other than Breida is Alfred Morris. And they got the fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, but not really a running back though. That's a fullback. Slight difference. With Jordan Howard and Kyle Juszczyk, I don't know if there is a difference. My God, those guys have been horrible. For wide receivers, only going to go over the ones that are interesting. Because, like, I can't even, like Odell, he's dope. Yeah, I get it. Antonio Brown, he's dope. I get it. AJ Green, not expected to play. Like, you'll be able to afford one of these guys. I really like him. And if you go cheap at running back, you'll be able to afford them. I have guys like Tyler Boyd, 6,000. He's been performing very bad with AJ Green out the lineup, but I see this as quite the bounce back game. Now, he probably won't do anything crazy. I see this being a tight, low scoring game. Vegas, I think, favors the Browns to win by 2.5, but I think this is going to be much closer than that. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess that's pretty close. So even Vegas has it as a close game. I think it's going to be low scoring. But I see Tyler Boyd getting his. Look, he had 9.5 points 2 weeks ago. Then 11.1. So if he gets in the end zone, I think he'll be able to do some damage from the slot position. I don't see him getting any less than 10 fantasy points, which I know isn't a lot, but you got to hope for that touchdown. Jarvis Landry has been a disappointment this year, and I don't know why. It's been really tough, really frustrating. Now, I am willing to roll the dice on him this week. Yet again, I'm willing to go back to him, mainly because I know he's been having lingering injuries this year, and everyone is banged up. And I think the bye weeks really help teams, really helps them get healthy. And I think there's a good chance Jarvis Landry bounces back and the bye week does him good. He's priced at $5,900. I like him in GPPs, but not so bad in cash games either. Probably my favorite wide receiver this week is Alshon Jeffrey. He's been in a little bit of a slump the last 3 games, but I do see him having a bounce back. I think he'll be good. Look, Jaguars, Cowboys, Saints, they've actually been playing okay on defense, and depends who they're going up against. So now he's playing the Giants. I don't even know if Janoris Jenkins will be on him. Maybe he'll be on him half the time. I'm not sure. Maybe he'll be on him all the time. But Janoris Jenkins isn't that great this year. Really, he's not. Like, he was good 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but not this year. He's okay. I think Alshon will get more targets and more receptions. Like, I am very confident in that. I don't see any reason. Look, 4 receptions, 4 receptions, 4 receptions. Before that, it was a lot more. And there's just no way he's going to get less than that. So with this price point, he's very good in all formats. My favorite value pick, my favorite cash game pick, my favorite GPP pick, it's got to be Alshon Jeffrey. If you go like Nick Mullins, maybe in GPP, there's a lot of ways you can stack him. You could go with Goodwin. If it's GPP, you can go with Bourne if you want to save money, or Pettis. Whoever's playing the slot does well. The Bucks are really bad at defending the tight end and the slot position. So I see Dante Pettis maybe getting that slot role, and then Marquise Goodwin is a little bit boom or bust. And then Bourne, Garcon is out. So I think Bourne is like in the middle. He'll be safe. He doesn't have a ton of upside unless he somehow gets in the end zone. And I don't think he'll be playing from the slot a lot. So that's really my breakdown of the 3 Niners wide receivers. All 3 of them are decent, but I think I really like Pettis. I think Pettis is the one. At 3,300, it's an amazing punt. Not great in cash. I guess not that great in cash, though, because you never know. Like Pettis, I think it was like a 6-game stretch where he did nothing, and then last week he was kind of involved in the offense, so we don't know about that. Now, safety. This is safety right here. This is value. This is a good cheap pick. Emmanuel Sanders, only 5,500. I see him getting 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe more than that targets. How does he not? He's the clear-cut #1 wide receiver, clear-cut #1 receiver, period, on that team. They don't even have a great tight end. Oh, man, that's a cheap price. It's not a great matchup, but they're at home. Home teams throw the ball a little bit more than away teams, like 2% more. 2% more passing plays. Golden Tate again in a GPP priced at 4,800. Who do I have? Anunwa. Yeah, we can really trust Jets receivers, huh? I can't trust anybody on the Jets. 3,700 for Quincy Anunwa. Is he healthy? Is he not? I don't know. He should be good. This is screaming like a great matchup. So there's 2 reasons to pick Anunwa: because he's super cheap, or because you're picking him for a tournament and just, you know, hoping his ownership is low. Other than that, there's not really much reason to pick him. You're not picking him for his floor. I don't know what's going on with the Jets, with the receivers, with the Anunwa. I know Josh McCown starting. I don't know what that means. I don't know. That's the big question marks. That means he's not trustworthy. And then another cheap option again is Seth Roberts. We can see if I can find him. On the Raiders last week, he actually kind of did bring value. 4 catches, 38 yards, which is horrible, I know. But who else are you going to pick? Last week he was minimum price 3,000. Now he's 3,200. Horrible matchup, but you figure he's going to get his usual 3 catches again. That's if you absolutely needed, like in a cash game, you absolutely needed a punt. You could go with Seth Roberts. For tight ends, much more simplified than the last 2 positions. My favorite tight end, and this is just done, along with Jameis Winston, my favorite quarterback, my favorite tight end is Cameron Brate. He's going to get a ton of targets. Winston and Brate do have chemistry. Picking tight ends is very difficult. A little bit of tight end roulette here. A little bit like throwing darts, flipping coins. Yes, 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 yes. But if we're going to do that, if we're going to play tight end roulette, I might as well not spend that much. At 3,600, that's getting close to minimum price territory here. So I don't see this. I don't see how this doesn't pan out. Like, if he doesn't do that well, he's going to probably be chalk. You know, you're playing other owners who have him, and he's also cheap price. You'll be able to spend up on other positions. And I really do think he'll do good. Some other options, I like Gronkowski in a GPP. You can't trust him. The price isn't great, but the upside is there. He should be a full go. Another tight end in GPP is Uzama. He's done absolutely nothing. Maybe he'll do something this game with AJ Green out. And, I mean, that's really it. You know, Zach Ertz, best tight end. Second best tight end is George Kittle. That's how it should be. That's how my rankings are. That's how everyone's rankings are. Both those guys are amazing. Of course, you know, stacking Ertz with Wentz is a good idea. Stacking Kittle with Mullins is a good idea if you're into those quarterbacks for this week. Some cheaper options for you cheapies out there. Oh, I guess I gotta mention Olsen too. Olsen, very good tight end this year. Can't believe he came back from that injury and is kind of balling. Who's cheap? Chris Herndon. Can't get that excited. I'll say his name with less excitement. 2,900. Chris Herndon, Jets tight end. There's nobody to throw to on the Jets. He's been getting a good amount of work. He's doing some things over there for the New York Jets. And some punts. Nick Van Nett, the receiving tight end for the Seahawks. I guess Ed Dixon's still involved. Ed Dixon caught a touchdown. One catch for Dixon and one catch for Van Nett last game. Hooray. And Lacoste. Oh, should I even dare try to look him up? As a stupid, cheap punt at the tight end position. That's a good way to punt it, though. Go minimum price. What's the worst that's going to happen? Get one reception while your opponents are paying up for tight ends that get you 0 points, which happens all the time. Defenses. I only have eyes for 1D. Just like with QBs, tight ends, I only want the Ravens. Their price, is a beautiful 3,300. Look at that. It's so cheap. I love it. Number 3 most expensive defense, but my number 1 most favorite defense. 700 cheaper than the expensive Jaguars. I do like the Jaguars. Going against the Bills will be a low scoring game. Jags will do well. AJ Boye's back. They've been way better with him back. Chargers, another amazing pick. But I like the Ravens better, man. I just wanted to name some other options is all. Patriots D going against the Jets, 3,100. Browns, just wanted to touch up that AJ Green is expected to be out. And if he is, I do like the Browns D. Look, not one that I'm willing to pick a lot, but if you have a ton of tournament GPP lineups, then the Browns is a good way to kind of change things up. And the price is okay. They have a good amount of upside. The safety is not bad either. Division game will be hard fought. Shouldn't be too high scoring. Like I said, no AJ Green. They should do okay. And the Buffalo Bills going against the Jags. We know how the Jags have been. Not putting up a lot of points. And who else we got? The Eagles might do some things to Eli Manning that scares Eli Manning. And I wanted to just mention the Jets, not because they're good or anything, but their minimum price, that 0.001% chance that Brady does not play. You got the Jets D. How do you not like that, huh? And for those of you that do play kickers, on Crypto Fantasy Sports, they do have kickers. My top 9 kickers this week are Justin Tucker, Stephen Gostkowski, Michael Badgley, and I think those 3 are actually the top 3 elite guys. I love all 3 of them. And then a little downgrade is Adam Vinatieri, and then a little downgrade from, so that's my tier 1 is those top 3, Tucker, Gostkowski, Badgley. Tier 2 is Vinatieri. Tier 3 is Dan Bailey, then Robbie Gould, and then Tier 4 would go Jake Elliott, Kaimi Fairbairn, and Cairo Santos. Keep in mind, the Vikings, Dan Bailey plays Sunday Night Football, not in the main slate. Texans, Titans, Fairbairn plays Monday night, also not in the main slate. Congrats to last week's winner, RDJ Sports. Hit me up, man. You have just won a Fantasy Couch t-shirt or mug or signed book, whatever you want, off the Fantasy Couch store right here. Hit me up. Let me know what you want. Again, congratulations. Thank you so much for keeping on playing on CFS. All right, guys, make sure you follow the link below or go to CryptoFantasySports.com. DFS.com, playing any NFL contest, and then comment below your CFS username. I will pick 5 random winners to win a couch t-shirt. Make sure you guys like this video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to this main channel please, it really helps me out. We also do have a second channel called Fantasy Couch Podcast. Subscribe to that as well. I'll see you guys on the next video / live stream. Good luck this week in fantasy football.